Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, reason, and skill. Help us use them wisely in the service of our town government. We ask this in thy holy name, amen. Salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody here this evening. We do have get my glasses, Mark?
Yes.
Ryan from Time Warner will be speaking to him later in the evening about a contract that we have with Time Warner. We welcome you here.
Okay.
And everybody else. Is there anybody that would like to address the board? We would like to keep the comments as short as possible, 3 to 5 minutes. Does anybody wish to address the board in public forum? Oh, thank you. I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of December 11th.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of December 11th.
I'll second that motion.
Is there any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Thank you. Get right back to you, I forgot you for a second. I'd also like a motion to approve the December 27th meeting.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of the December 27th meeting.
Second.
Any questions on the December 27th meeting? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. My apologies, Steve, for not introducing you as our new board member. I want to welcome you aboard. Steve Southwick was just elected this fall, most everybody probably knows. I'm glad to have you. You come with experience, and we're looking forward to working with you. Do you have any words of wisdom for us? Or?
Just here to learn. There's a lot to learn, and I'm looking forward to working with everybody on this board and at the town as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to announce my appointments this coming year. I'd like to appoint Craig Hicks as my deputy supervisor. On the grants committee, John Paul Tatro and Craig Hicks and Mike Tatro Jr. Water and sewer committee, Steve Southwick, Craig Hicks and Mike Tatro. Highway committee, Craig Hicks and John Paul Tatro. The building committee, John Paul Tatro and Richard Favreau. Emergency preparedness committee, Craig Hicks and Richard Favreau. Handicap discrimination committee, John Paul Tatro and myself. Town policy committee, myself and Craig Hicks. Zoning committee, Richard Favreau. The planning committee, Steve Southwick. Landfill committee, Steve Southwick and John Paul Tatro. Zoning and code officer, Mike Tatro Jr. Vital statistics registrar, Julie Castine. Budget officer is myself. Harassment officer, Jane West, Tim Parsons. Fixed access records clerk, Jane West. The youth director, Linda Fredette. Cable franchise, Dick Favreau. Dog control officer, Joe Mont. Fire district liaison, Steve Southwick. Safety officers, Tim Parsons and Mike Tatro. Board of Assessment Review, John Paul Tatro. Parks and Youth Commission, Richard Favreau, John Paul Tatro, and Craig Hicks. If I could have a motion to approve those.
Make a motion, we approve committee appointments.
I'll second that motion.
Is there any questions on any of them? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. We need a resolution to accept, review and accept the town policies, personnel policy, conflict of interest, code of ethics, sexual harassment, drug-free workplace, procurement, alcohol and drug policy, safety and health investments, disaster response, hazardous material response, hazardous communications. I would like a motion to approve those.
I make a motion that we approve those resolutions,
Town policy.
town policies
Yes.
resolutions.
Second.
Any questions on any of them? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And carried. List of the salaries for the coming year, this year, 2008. The supervisor's salary is $19,000. Council members, $6,150 each. The highway superintendent, $16,000 is an elected position. $25,000 is a full-time working position. Town clerk, tax collector, $21,424. Additional duties is the water and sewer clerk, $3,105. The planning and zoning clerk, $7,760. 2 justices at $18,984 each. The marriage officer at $1,000. The youth director at $3,250. Board of Assessment and Review, it's $2,000, a total of $300 each. Town clerk and registrar, this is the assistant town clerk, I believe it should be, am I right, Julie? Assistant town clerk and registrar, be $1,000. If I could have a motion to accept those salaries?
I make a motion that we accept the salaries as listed.
Second.
Any questions on any of them? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. To set the regular meeting nights, the day of the week will be Tuesdays, the second Tuesday, or Tuesdays, be the second Tuesday of the month. The place will be here at the town hall, and time at 7 p.m. Do I have a motion to approve that?
I make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Any questions? Second Tuesday, here at the town hall at 7 p.m. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. We need to designate the following banks as official depository of town funds. The Champlain National Bank, Citizens Bank, Evergreen Bank, and Tupper Lake National Bank. Could I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we accept the following banks for our town funds.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. We need to designate our official newspaper as being the Plattsburgh Press Republican.
Made a motion, we designate Plattsburgh Press Republican as our official town newspaper.
Second that motion.
Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We need to designate official town attorney as William Favreau.
I make a motion that we appoint William Favreau as our town attorney.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. We need to designate the town attorney for zoning and planning. That's Thomas Marnane from Stafford Owens Curtains and Purcell Curtains and Trombley, law firm of Westford. If I could have that motion?
Made a motion, we designate Tom Renane as the town attorney for zoning and planning.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second that motion.
Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We need to set the mileage reimbursement rate. Dick, you want to address that? Our present rate is not up to the
IRS standards,
Right.
which is, they're now saying it's 50.5 cents per mile. So
Okay.
to stay within those standards, for the limited mileage that we do have anyhow, I say that we should raise it to 50.5 cents per mile. I
Okay.
make a motion that we do that.
And I'll second that.
I have a motion second to raise the mileage reimbursement rate to 50.7. It's in line with,
50.5.
excuse me, it's 50.5 per mile, cents per mile. That's in line with the IRS recommendations and guidelines.
Right.
Motion is second. Is there any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. We need to set the spending limit for the highway superintendent. He can buy without a board approval up to $1,500. This is something we've done in the past.
I make a motion, for the highway superintendent, $1,500 without board approval.
I'll second that motion.
Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. I need a motion to approve the donation to local veteran organizations upon submission of a voucher. We normally give $100, and there's as many as 4 of them.
I make a motion that upon submission by voucher of the local veterans organization, that we donate $100 each to them.
Second.
Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And carried. I need a motion to approve the advance payment of audit claims for public utilities, postage, freight, express charges, and all other payroll-related deductions.
Make a motion, we authorize payment in advance of audit claims for public utility services, postage, freight, express charges, and all payroll-related deductions.
Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. We need to designate a delegate and an alternate to the Association of Town meetings in February.
Are you going?
Yeah.
Somebody had to ask me that. I'm not sure, so I really feel that we should appoint somebody else. And I go, that's fine, I mean, I don't need to be the delegate myself.
I make a motion that we designate Craig Hicks, Councilman Craig Hicks, as the alternate, or the delegate to
Okay.
the Association of Towns meeting held in February in New York.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now we need an
I
alternate.
make a motion, we appoint Dick Favreau as an alternate delegate to the Association of Towns meeting in February.
I need a second.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. We need a motion to pay for registration, bus fare, hotel, and designate the dollar amount given to each official attending the Association of Town meetings. We need to pay the bus fare and the hotel and stuff ahead of time.
Okay.
The dates on that is February
17th.
through 19th,
20th.
20.
So,
right? 17th through 20th.
No,
20th?
I think so. Well,
Yeah,
they
17th
We
through
leave
20th.
we leave on a Sunday.
come back on
In
Wednesday.
the morning, and then we
It's a
come back
3-night.
Wednesday.
Yeah, 17th through the 20th.
It's a 3-night stay. You stay over on the 17th, 18th, 19th, and come back on the 20th.
Correct.
Whoever makes a motion for this, we need a dollar amount in that motion to pay the registration, bus fare, and hotel, but we also need a dollar amount to give to those attending the association. In the past, we've given $200 each. Doesn't go too far in New York City.
Well, that's what we were discussing before. I mean, yeah, in the past, $200 probably did, but when you're facing a $13 cup of coffee in the morning. So I'll let Dick make,
I make a motion that we pay the registration, bus fare, hotel, and give each delegate $300 for attending the official Association of Town meeting in New York.
I was like that.
Is there any question on this one? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. You do need to get back with Jane so she can firm up who's going and who's not going
Yep.
as soon as possible, the next day or two, I hope.
Yeah, was this available to planning and zoning
Yes. it has
as
been
well?
by
Because I
town
know that
policy.
in the past,
I
this is
do
what
know
word
of,
had gone.
I know of one that wants to go. Do you know, Mickey, if anybody, zoning planning board, do you know?
Other than Carl, I'm not sure. I think Bruce Seguin indicated he might be wanting
I
to
hadn't heard Carl.
I had heard about Carl, I don't know about Bruce, I have not asked him.
I thought he mentioned that he wanted to go with the last zoning board meeting, but I'm not sure.
I will have to contact him and see, okay? Okay. Did I table it? I did. In a financial resolution as follows. I need a motion to approve. In lieu of filing the town's financial report by the supervisor with New York State Audit and Control, he is authorized instead to file a copy of his annual report given to the State Controller's Office within 60 days of the close of the financial year. And he forward a copy of the proof of publication of said report in the official town newspaper when filing with the said Audit and Control. I need a motion to approve that. This is something that we've done every year. We have to file by the end of February, before the 1st of March.
I make a motion that we accept this financial resolution as just read by the supervisor.
Second.
Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. A post-audit resolution, authorize the payment in advance of audit of claims for public utilities, postage, freight, and express charges. All such claims shall be presented at the next regular board meeting for audit, and the claimant and the officer incurring approving the same shall be jointly liable for the amount disallowed by the town board. Okay. I need a motion to approve post-audit resolution.
I make a motion, we accept the post-audit resolution as read by the supervisor.
Okay.
Second.
Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Township municipal bond authorization.
Going out that way?
The one you gave us, Joanne? Do you need to read that, or you,
It's just, Champlain National Bank is designated as a depository for the funds of Champlain Township.
okay.
Just need approval of it.
We need a motion to the Champlain National Bank, and there's a, depository, is that what it is, Joey? Okay, for our funds. Do I have a motion to approve?
Yes, I'll make that motion that we approve Champlain National Bank as a repository through board resolution.
Okay,
Second that motion.
any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried.
Well, you know, when you hear the name, you better not apply for
We
that.
got a letter from Real Property Office for the annual aid certification. We will be getting a check for $15,640 from the state. Being updating our assessed values, that's for information only. I have a letter from the town of Shazy pertaining to the coach fair, that's in New York City. We pretty well covered that one. That's been approved. Shazy, the town of Shazy lines up the bus for many townships in the area. Provide transportation to New York City for the Association of Town meeting. You have the work schedule for the real property office here in this building. It's every Friday, the month of January. We have a letter from St. Patrick's Church in Rouse's Point. Take the opportunity on behalf of St. Patrick's Church to thank you for the work that's done this past year at St. Patrick's Cemetery. Your assistance saved us a great deal of manpower, time, and money. We are very grateful from the St. Patrick's Church in Rouse's Point. The next is a request from two of our employees for training for water and sewer certifications. 115, that's next week, I believe it is, in Plattsburgh. I need a motion to approve these two employees to go to the training. It's a regular work day for them.
Make a motion we approve Riley Roberts and Tim Parsons to attend training
Okay.
for certification.
I'll second that motion.
Is there any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. We got a letter from the New York State Electric and Gas Public Service Commission approving the tariff filing that's submitted by New York State Electric and Gas to comply with the Federal Energy Policy Act requirement that mercury vapor lamps and balances shall not be manufactured or imported after January 1st of this year. I really don't know that. Does that pertain to us on any of our streetlights?
No, I don't think so.
Not that I know of, right? Just a form letter. The Adirondack Tobacco Free Network newsletter, just for your information only. Steps on how to quit smoking for us and our employees. I don't smoke, so that was for information only. The next thing is the Clinton County Veterans Service Agency is requesting a Cold War Veterans Tax Exemption Bill to be approved. Dick, you want to address this one? We talked about it earlier in the day.
Right. It's for tax exemption for Cold War veterans. We need to hold a public hearing, so I'd like to read, this is a resolution in order to schedule a public hearing on February 12th, 2008, in order to establish local law number 1 for 2008 regarding the Cold War veterans exemption to be, they'd apply this year and they wouldn't be effective until 2009. I'd like to read, the local law would read as is, local law number 1 of 2008. A local law to provide for an exemption from real property taxes for real property owned by veterans who rendered military service to the United States during the Cold War. Be it enacted by the town of Champlain, county of Clinton as follows. Whereas section 458B of the real property tax law authorizes a limited exemption from real property taxes for residential real property owned by veterans who rendered military service to the United States during the Cold War. And whereas section 458B of the real property tax law authorizes municipalities to establish maximum exemption amounts, and whereas in regard to Cold War veterans who own residential real property within the town of Champlain, county of Clinton, to authorize Cold War veteran exemption and establish maximum amounts. Section 1, in accordance with provisions of section 458B of the real property tax law of the state of New York, residential real property owned by veterans who rendered military service to the United States during the Cold War shall be exempt from town taxation. The maximum exemptions allowable for the town real property taxation pursuant to section 458B of real property tax law shall be 15% of the property's assessment not to exceed $12,000 multiplied by the latest final state equalization rate for service during the Cold War, and a percentage of the property's assessment equal to 1/2 of any service-connected disability rating not to exceed 40,000 multiplied by the latest final state equalization rate, which we're at 100%. This local law shall take effect immediately upon its filing with the Secretary of State.
I have one question. You said town, and there it says county.
Well,
This was a, go ahead.
yeah, this was a form that came from Greene County originally. This came from the state, passed it in the legislature, and now it's coming down to the towns and the villages and whatever, and we are one of the first ones to do it.
We're copying the,
We're copying Greene County, and that's why
Okay.
it said county. it will read the town,
The town, county of Clinton,
county of Clinton.
yes, okay. I assume that's a motion, will you,
Yes.
include in your motion the time and the date of the next,
Yeah, the time and date will be, our next board meeting, which will be February 12th. We can say, I don't know, 7:15.
that's fine. This has to be advertised so many days ahead, and
Right.
we'll have that all done.
And it's up for public hearing too.
This is the public hearing.
This will be for the
This is
public.
public.
This is for the public hearing. We just need a motion from the board. They just made
I
a
made
motion.
the motion.
Second.
Okay, now I have a second. To approve, we'll go ahead and schedule the hearing, and we read it out to you. Is there any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried.
Thank you.
Um, The next thing on the agenda was, it has not been scheduled, so we will not announce it yet. Another public hearing. We have less control over it, I guess, let's put it that way. Tentatively scheduled for February also, but it's not been scheduled as a exact thing. I need a motion to approve the zoning minutes, board of October 18th and November 15th. Pardon?
Those don't have to be approved.
They don't have to be accepted by the town board? No, that we usually do, no. Yeah.
This is just for your review.
Okay, just for review then. Alan, Superintendent Highway Report.
I haven't received anything from the Village of Champlain as part of the shared service agreement, but I know what they're waiting for. We got electricity in the back building there. So if they wanna bring their machine to load their own trucks, they're welcome to plug theirs in. We got power right there to keep it plugged in, cause I know there's a little conflict, they didn't wanna pay the overtime of our men if they get called out to load their trucks. While we're here during the day, I don't have no problem with that, but if they wanna load us in, let's say at 9 o'clock at night, one of our men gets called out, he gets automatically paid for 2.5 hours. So they kinda object to that, but if they wanna bring their equipment, park it there, plug it in, they're welcome to do it.
Have you notified them that it's ready?
No, it was ready today, we just got the power today.
Okay.
Officially, we got an outlet there. We're gonna work on the rest of the lights and stuff.
You will notify them?
I will notify.
Okay.
I got one more thing, that Kings Bay Road, we always kept it open. This year, the people that live down the end of that road moved out, that house is empty, so I figured, why open that road? It's a seasonal road. Now the people are objecting because they gotta go down there, they can't go fishing, they can't go skidooing, because the guy that bought all that park owns the outlet that goes to the lake. He owns the driveway that goes to the lake. He owns the right of way. So he cabled it off, and they came back the other day asking how come we're not keeping it up. Well, it's still considered a town road, but why keep it open? Send a truck down there if they can't use the outlet to go to the lake anyways.
What about off, Kings Bay Road, what about off Sunfish,
That's a private road.
that's a private road?
Yeah.
But the end of Kings Bay Road was
Joins
sold.
up with Sunfish, correct?
Yes, but that's still private. Where it joins,
Right.
that's a private. Or where Kings Bay Road ends, there's a driveway that goes to the
Right,
lake.
that
That's
was,
private.
Mr. Matthews' mom's place.
Yeah. So we have, she died and we haven't been going down there. There's no reason for us to go down there now. We always did it because she lived there.
Mhm.
But now that was sold. The guy that bought it, well, he cabled off people to go to the lake. So there's a kind of a question, people come and ask, well, how come you guys ain't, there's no sense for me to open up for what? I mean, you're just gonna go down there and turn around and come right back out.
So you're saying that town residents have no access to get down there with their sleds or
That's right.
go ice fishing?
That's right, because that's a private driveway down there. It goes right into the lake.
Well, if it's not a town road,
It is a town road, it still is a town road.
Is it seasonal?
Season.
You don't have to plow seasonal, do you?
No, but the only reason I kept it open because it was a person living down there, Mrs. Matthews lived down there.
I would say it's your call, Alan.
But, you know, people come and they ask, how come we're not keeping it clean? Well, there's no sense of me keeping it clean if you're just gonna go down there and turn around and come out. There's nobody living on the road.
I say it's your call.
Well, I'm just, in case somebody asks you guys,
Why don't we do like you do on the extension of the Hayford Road? That it's only,
well, I'd have to put a sign.
put a sign
Yeah,
that, you know what, just put the same thing
Put a
that's
sign, November 1st to April 1st.
seasonal only, then they'll satisfy
That
that.
solution?
But he claims that he owns the road, so I don't know, we're gonna have to get a lawyer to explain, something's gonna have to jive here sooner or later.
The town has plowed it for so many years that by
Yeah.
rights you could claim it. But through his survey and through what we found in the minutes from the transfers, the town still
Still
owns
owns
it.
it.
No, they never did own it.
They never did, it was an outfit of being exchanged from one road to the next.
Right. But you maintained it for so many years that,
Yeah.
you know, you could make that argument. But if you make it a seasonal road now, there's nobody living down there. What if somebody moves in there in a year from now? Now, are you gonna take the sign out and plow the road, or?
There's where the conflict of interest is gonna come in, either Mr. Fleming's gonna have to come to the table here and explain who owns what here.
Well,
All these
when
problems?
Sandy called me, her concern was they have the snowmobile races down there.
That's what I was getting
And-
at too.
They can't get down there if you don't plow the road. And she said they've always went down there.
Well, I always kept the road up because of, Les's mother lived down there. I mean, it was a reason for fire and ambulance and everything else, but now there's nobody living down there, why should I send a truck just to turn around and come right back out? I mean, they can't even get on the lake either,
Right, that's what I was
That's the
getting
major
at.
thing.
This
Fleming.
has blocked off the property.
Well, see, that's the concern. They wanna know if it's a town road, then why isn't the town maintaining it? Because they have in the past.
Mm.
And now all of a sudden, this new guy's come in and bought it, and he's stopping everybody from going down there. So they want us to find out,
The only thing he's stopping is the entrance to the lake,
Which he owns.
which he owns, that's privately owned. The road ends, and then there's a little section that goes right to the lake. Where the
So when Les-
snowmobiles used to get on, the fishermen used to get on the lake, that's a private driveway.
so when Les owned it, then he allowed you to go on that private
Right.
way to, and then plow the rest.
We plowed it for his mother and stuff, and
But this new guy doesn't want you to do
No.
that.
I can still go down and plow it, but for what reason it's gonna give somebody to just go down there and turn around? Matter of fact, he wouldn't be able to turn around, he'd have to back up, because that road's so narrow.
Never been down there in my life on that particular stretch. I'm going to entertain a comment. I know you had one, you,
Well, I just was gonna suggest that it seems to me it seems to me you shouldn't plow it. I don't want my tax dollars paying for a road to be plowed that can't be used. And I would also be afraid it would encourage people to then trespass on land that he's saying he doesn't want to allow access on, which is totally within his rights. So it seems to me a waste of money to plow it. I would rather it not be plowed, and I would suggest that if you do put up a sign saying it's a seasonal road, that maybe there also be something indicating that there is no lake access from this road, so that people know beforehand and they don't blame the town for not plowing it as to the reason they can't get to the lake.
Apparently, if you belong to a ski club or fishing club, if you go talk to this guy, he'll let you on. It's one of those, you gotta ask.
it's not our call.
That's right, that doesn't concern us a bit.
No.
Okay, I think, Alan, you
Okay,
handle that.
that's it.
Thanks for the update on that.
The building committee, John Paul Richard, I don't know if you want to report a little bit on the new building that's gone up, or it's not completed.
Other than, Alan can report better than we can, but it does,
We're waiting for tin.
The roof is on,
The roof is on, the windows are on, we're just waiting for 10 sheets of tin, then the outside will be completed, then we'll work in the inside.
it looks good.
very nice.
I do not believe there's anything on the grants committee at this time, or the board of assessment review, John. The highway committee, we've already, I don't know, anything else to report? Craig or John, I don't believe there is.
No.
Water sewer, Craig, Steve, and Mike, Mike, is there anything that you know of?
Did you get the chance to work on that?
No, we
Water
have,
road?
I got all the material to do it.
That's the only question I have.
Certainly the landfill committee has nothing to do with this time of year in January. Town clerk's report, Julie, you have?
Yep. This is a copy of the yearly report for town clerk for your review. And then, the annual codes training is coming up in Lake Placid that Mike and I usually attend to keep our certification for code enforcement officers. It's March 3rd through March 6th, and we would like permission to attend that.
You need that now before you're done?
Yeah, you can do it now.
I make a motion that we send Julie and Mickey to the Lake Placid, as she just stated. March.
March 3rd through the 6th.
Second.
A motion to second. Any questions on this one? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I'd like to appoint Jane West as my deputy for town clerk tax collector. And also use me to appoint Janice Letourneau as marriage officer.
Oh, you approved the salary for,
Yeah, you approve the salary, but you have to appoint Janice. The
okay.
judges also do marriages, but she's a marriage officer too.
We did approve her salary
Right.
early on.
Yep.
Jane first, probably,
Mhm.
as the assistant town clerk, is that what the title would be?
Deputy.
Deputy town clerk. Okay, can I have a motion to approve Jane as deputy town clerk?
I make a motion that we approve Jane West as deputy town clerk.
Second.
Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Now the marriage officer?
I make a motion that we appoint Janice Letourneau as marriage officer,
Second.
a marriage officer it
Right.
is.
Any questions on this one? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried.
I got one, too.
Yeah. You got anything else?
No, that's all I have.
Okay,
I'd like to make a motion that we give non-collectively bargained employees President's Day as a holiday,
it's board policy item,
as board policy.
okay?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any questions on this before I'll call a roll call vote? Craig?
Yes?
John?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Yes for myself. Yeah, for information only, on January 16th, we're having some training for public sector. Is going to be here at 10 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You can make either session. You gotta keep that one in mind, Alan, for your men probably do,
Yep.
okay? That's next Wednesday, I believe,
1:30?
okay?
1:30 was the second one?
Well, 1,
1?
10 and 1, I believe that's what Jane gave me. That's for information only. I need a motion to approve, if it's so desired of the board. We have a Board of Assessment Review member, whose term is up, David Coonan. We'd like to fill that position. It's a 5-year term. There's 5 on that board, 1 comes every year, I do believe. I could have a motion to approve Dave Coonan.
I make a motion that we appoint Dave Coonan for a 5-year term.
Board of Assessment Review.
Board of Assessment Review.
Second.
Any questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Under board policy, it's something we talked about changing. We went back into a 1999 board policy to change to comp time for employees able to accumulate up to 40 hours, and that's not very much, it's only 20-some hours actual work time, time and a half, comp time. Would you like to extend that if possible? I would. If there's something above that, desire of the board. This pertains mostly to the highway department. Those that work storms, stuff like that.
So it'd be union employees, basically,
Well,
Not
the
necessarily.
board policy, I think, has got to include everybody.
does it?
I think it should. It's not a collective bargaining issue at this time. Okay, it's a board policy. There's very few people non-union that get any, one or two at very most. Nobody's got 40 hours. I mean, where it's possible to get 40 hours or more is if we get a huge storm on a weekend, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday or something. If a guy worked, very possible to work 25, 30 hours on a weekend, it would put him over, you know. So that's where this comes from.
So we wanna boost it up, is,
I would like to see it boosted up to something more than 40, because if we get 2 storms back to back, like the 2 weekends in a row, it really limits the guy from getting to work if he wants comp time. Comp time does save the town money. And,
Would you like to go about, what, 80 hours or
Yeah.
something?
well, 60 or 80, or something over 40. And we don't want to, go hog wild on this one either, but
I make a motion, we go 80 hours.
okay.
I'll second that motion.
Is there any questions on this? For board policy, I believe we should probably have a roll call vote. Craig?
yes.
John?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Yes for myself, 80 hours. That's all I have. Does anybody else on the board have anything to say for the board? We do have a need for,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
we have a need for an executive session.
Right.
Is there anything in public session?
No.
We need to, I need a motion to go into executive session.
Yeah, the post audit and
Oh, I'm sorry.
monthly bills.
Okay. Review of the post audit bills. We need to approve those.
I make a motion that we accept the post audit bills as listed.
Second.
Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. You have your cash receipts for January, your trial balances. You need to approve the monthly bills.
I make a motion, we approve the monthly bills.
Second that motion.
Any questions on monthly bills? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Have I forgotten any?
Make a
Now I need a
motion, we go out of,
Public session.
out of public session into executive session for contractual, negotiations.
Okay,
I'll
thank you.
second that motion.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Over.